Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the Indian Constitution at Work, which is a textbook for class 11. This book. This is a book for class 11th. So basically I will discuss how to study this book. Whether this should be studied just like a book or it has some meaning. It has some value. As I just tell you one thing, the students who are especially in class 11th and maybe the students, they simply think one thing that that I have to simply pass the examinations and then nothing else. Almost 90% of students, 90%, even more than 90% of students whosoever opted humanity in their class 11th, 12th, most of them have only one ambition to secure good marks in political science and pass. They do not want to get the gist of the book, what exactly is all about the book, what book wants to tell, book want to tell. The students who are in class 11, their intention is only one to get marks, to secure marks and pass the examination. Hardly 5 to 10% students are those students who simply think that this is not merely a book, this is an idea of a country, this is an idea of the nation, this is a book which gives us idea about the Indian Constitution. It makes us it gives us idea, it compels us to think about the Indian Constitution. Today in modern scenario, today in the world, we have always we are coming across a lot of news day by day today, that so many political commentator always talks about the Indian constitutions, about the constitution, right of constitution. Nowadays we have seen a lot of debates and hue and cry about the Indian constitution are in dangers, these and that. So today I simply want to tell you all of you that knowing Indian Constitution is not only just like to read a particular book, but it also helps you to inculcate the idea about the Indian Constitution, what exactly Indian Constitution. Even though you do not belong to humanity background, yet you need to understand about the Indian Constitution. The students who basically belongs to other than humanity background, they also need to understand the Indian Constitution, because nowadays it's become very important, very imperative for everyone to understand the Indian Constitution. At least basic value, basic phenomenon, basic understanding of Indian Constitution one must have. So in the context of Indian Constitution today, that I will discuss, it will help to those students who are in class 11 and they have determined to go for their high study in political science, and if they want to pursue further after class 11, 12th, if they want to pursue for preparation for the civil service examinations. Apart from that, the students who are preparing for the civil services student, and if they did not have humanity background in their class 11th and 12th, if they belong to just like a BTech or science background, then I think that this book will help a lot to them. So I do not want to waste time, but simply I will start my this book from the contents and the chapters of the books. What exactly content is, how many chapters are there, and what about the introductions of chapters. So let me give the brief introduction of each chapter one by one, and what each chapter tells us, and why we need a constitution. So the first chapter, that is basically, which is that constitution, why and how. Constitutions, why and how. In this particular chapter, in the chapter first, we will come to know that what is exactly constitution. Constitution nothing but a set of law according to which a country is run. But apart from that, we will have a lot of questions. What are the functions of constitution? How does it work? What are the mechanism of constitution? How the constitution was formed? What are the process to form a constitution? Either it did have any historical background or not. But when you come to know in class 11th books, you won't find a lot of historical background. But yet it does have a lot of historical background, from 1773 Regulating Act to last Independence Act of 1947. So I will also discuss about that how all these acts from 1773 to Regulating Act to British India and Charter Act and so on, the Independence Act, how all the acts helped to frame the Indian Constitution. Apart from that, colonial period, British colonial period, colonial rules, colonial regimes which were established in India during late 18th century, and how they basically framed a law in India to rule and to govern, so that we also come to know through the various rules and charters and act. Apart from that, we also come to know that how most of the British colonial rules are still prevalent in modern society, relevant. Just like when we talk about the IPC, these are basically framed by the British government when Macaulay was a law in charge. In 1833, a law commission was established by Macaulay, and it was just introduced in Indian Penal Code in 1960-61 and so on. So we'll come to know more about that. Apart from that, in the second chapter, we will come to know. But before that, I will also explain that in this chapter that what is the need of constitution. If there would be no any constitution in India, what could have happened? Today, in any part of the world, either the country are democratic or non-democratic, everyone does have a constitution. For example, Syria, Iran, Iraq, although they are not democratic, even the Pakistan is not democratic, yet they have a constitution. Every country, even China does have constitution, Russia does have constitution, Korea does have constitution, either North Korea or South Korea, everyone does have constitution. Either they are democratic or not democratic. It does not follow any importance. Yeah, but their constitution might be like, it could be called like, let's say, democratic constitution or non-democratic constitution. In India, in the context of Indian society or India, Indian constitution is considered like a democratic constitution. Why? I will discuss in this chapter when we move from chapter by chapters. Okay. In the second chapter, that we'll come to know that is the rights in the Indian constitution. We always talk about the rights, that this is my right, that is your right. What could have happened in the Indian society if there would be no rights? What are the linkage between rights and liberties? So we'll come to know about the rights, liberties, justice, fraternity, and so on. So what are these rights? What are the fundamental rights? And what are the legal rights? And what are the constitutional, non-constitutional rights? So that we will come to know. And what are the importance of this? What are the importance of fundamental right in the development of human society? If India is developing her society, then it's only because of the fundamental rights which are inside in the Indian constitution, or it's only because of Indian ethos and philosophy that has been persisting for a long time. So all will come to know that how Indian constitutions, how Indian constitutional rights which are privileged to, which are given to all the human beings, either they are citizens of India, even or not citizens. Some rights are for the citizens, most of them rights are for the citizen. I think almost every rights are for the citizen, and some of the rights are also for the non-citizen. If any foreign alien come to India, then they do have some fundamental right. So I will come to know that what are the rights which are for the Indians and what are the rights which are not for the Indians. What are the rights which are for the Indians and what are the rights which are for the especially aliens, and what are the rights which are not for the aliens or foreigners. So we'll also come to know. So we will discuss in the part of fundamental rights in the second chapters of Indian Constitution. And apart from that, we also come to know about the DPSP, that is a Directive Principle of State Policy. When we will discuss about the Directive Principle of State Policy, then we will try to link the DPSP of Indian Constitution with the fundamental right of South African Constitution. Then we will come to the conclusion that what exactly is Indian Constitution's fundamental rights and what exactly is DPSP of Indian Constitution. We will be very surprised when we come to know that so many DPSP structures, DPSP is the Directive Principle of State Policies, so many part of DPSP are the part of Constitution of South America. Amazing. So we'll come to know and we will discuss a lot about that. Apart from that, we will also have a lot of discussion on that, like Kesavananda Bharati case, that basically deals with the fundamental right, and we will discuss a lot on the Kesavananda Bharati, how it helped and how it provided us, how the basic structure was coined in Indian Constitution in 1973. We will also come to know so many cases like Golaknath case and Minerva Mill, but Minerva is not related to fundamental right, but especially fundamental right. In the case of fundamental right, Kesavananda Bharati, Golaknath, and so many cases. what were the judgments by 13 judges, what the judgment, how it took place. So all we'll discuss. Apart from that, the next chapter that we'll discuss the election and representation. What is the importance of election and representation? What is election and what is the representation? Both the terms are different. If there is election, then there must be representation. There is a representation, there must be election. In a democratic country, it is not necessary. It must be. It should be in other country where there is no democracy. It means that if there is a democracy, then there must be an election. Country like India does have so. And if there is a democracy, then it must have elections. So we'll come to know how it happens so. And what are the function of Election Commission of India, how it works, and in how many it has been divided, and how it has, what are the mechanism of Indian Constitution of India, and what are the various fundamental clauses and articles which talk about the Indian Constitution, election commissions, okay. And apart from that, State Election Commission and Election Commission of India, and what are their functions and how they are governed and what are their powers and functions, we'll also come to know. And what are the purview of president, what are the areas of functionings, and how they subjugate their power, especially when there is a particular area is under the constitution, under the elections. Suppose if any area, in any part of India, if there is assembly election or if any bipolar election, then how the Election Commission of India get power and how it dominate over the powers, how the power is transferred to them. So in what circumstances and what circumstances how it works like a superpower. So I think this narrative has changed since 1993. Earlier this was not so much visible, especially the power of Indian Constitution that will divide in two sectors before 1993 or 1997, and then later on, so how it has been divided and how later we'll come to know the Supreme Court has delineated the power of Election Commission from time to time and has changed a lot, and it has been changing to now. And the next one we will discuss about the executive. So we'll come to know that there are three main organs of the government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. These are the organs of government. What does it mean? Organs of government are part of the government, and these are the machinery of government which work for the betterment of society, to fulfill the aspiration of human being and the citizen of India. So we'll come to know that what exactly executive and then what is judiciary and legislature. Executive are basically part of government and parts of the executive are the organs. Executives are the organs of government which does have powers to execute the law, rules, and so on. And these laws and rules are passed by and made by the parliament. So executive and the legislature are you can say the part of parliament, but judiciary are not the part of parliament. Yet judiciary does have some purview to curtail and control and make null and void if any law is passed by the parliament and which is against the ethos of philosophy of Indian Constitution or democratic rights. Then judiciary does have right there, does have role there. So again we will discuss about the legislature. Legislature are those body of the government which basically makes law and how the laws are framed. So we'll come to know in that and what are the mechanism of law, framing of law, especially in the context of parliamentary law and the assembly laws. Assembly laws are laws basically made by the state government and what are their range. So we'll also discuss about so many lists like in a concurrent list, union list, and central list, and residuary list. So all the lists and how they are categorized, number of items and things which are categorized into the particulars or list. So we'll come to again. I think media that we'll add media. Since media is somehow also acts like a government machinery because it acts like a fourth pillar of the country. But today's media has been, you can change a lot drastically. So still we will discuss the both part of media, how it works for the democracy and how it hampers democracy too. We'll come to know about that section 2. The next one, that is the so these are the part of organs of government. That is the next one. And the next part we'll discuss about the feudalism. When we discuss about the feudalism, we'll come to know that exactly the division of power that we have studied in class 9th and 10th, especially in the context of federal structure, that how it really works in the Indian constitution and how this idea basically came into existence and what are the basics idea that the Indian government had to frame the idea of feudalism, especially in the Indian constitution. So when we'll discuss about federalism, then we must have ideas about the Panchayati Raj or like a local government. In the local government, we'll come to know about this like a Panchayati Raj or municipal corporation or like a corporation, municipal corporation is the example in Delhi, MCD, like Mumbai, BMC, but there is a municipal corporation in municipal corporation like that, okay. Or in Hindi we can say like Nagar Nigam, also Nagar Palika. Again, when we discuss about, and the next we will discuss about what the constitution as a living document. It's a very important chapter, the last chapter is very important. Why? Since I would like to let know to all of you that Indian constitution is a living document. I think constitution of every democratic world are living documents. Why? Because even though we know that, even though constitution was made a frame in 1949 or 1950, yet it has been working since then. It means it is like living documents. It's like living documents. How? I just give one examples. Whatever the laws or rules which were inside Indian Constitution 1950 still working now. Any fundamental rights which were persistent, it was persisting in 1950s, still persisting now. Their interpretation has been changing a lot. Their interpretation has changed from time to time, but the same constitution is working right now. So we can say that Indian constitution is living documents. And the last chapter that we'll discuss about the philosophy of Indian constitution is idea. I think when we discuss about the philosophy, that it's just like in the last two chapters we'll discuss entire subject of the book, that how it gives the idea about the Indian constitution in a very philosophical manner. When we'll also come to know about the idea of Tagore, somehow Ambedkar, mostly Ambedkar and the Gandhi, in the context of Gandhi, apart from some philosopher, liberal political philosophers from India across the world, like now. When we'll discuss the second part of the book, then we'll also come to know a lot of liberal and liberal thinker and political thinkers, and how their ideas sit in framing the constitution of different part of the world. We'll also discuss somehow, give ideas about the French Revolution that took place in 1789, and since then how the idea of democratic basically led to aid in the entire Europe, and then I think this somehow gave the idea of liberty, fraternity, justice, and which are the main core of any constitution of the world if the constitution are democratic. So here I would like to say one thing, that in entire section of the you can say the of this book especially, I'll be discussing the main content of this book. Apart from this book, so many things, and the clause in the article which always comes in the newspaper, that I will also keep in touch, and I'll be discussing. So this video I think will help the student who are especially in class 11, and if they have determination to do something good in political science, and if they want to lead in their life like a civil service, or if they want to prepare for the civil service and they are determined to, I think I will make this video while keeping these two things in our mind. In one way, I will try to focus the basic content of the class 11. Simultaneously, I will also try to discuss all the things which are very relevant in modern society, which are linked to the book's ideas and thoughts, and which help the class 12 to enlarge their knowledge, you can say expand their knowledge. So from next video I will discuss the chapter 1, that what exactly the chapter 1 talks about, and how it and what are the and how it really very meaningful, and how it does have ideas well used in the modern context, in a modern scenario, and how it will be ever and forever in Indian society. So thank you. If you do like to give any feedback, then I'll be very happy and most welcome all of you. If you just have any idea and thoughts about my video, how do you react and how do you like my video, your suggestions are very valuable for me. Thank you.